change my name to me rather than if I can find the blasted thing, online trading profits. Let me do that quickly, guys. Otherwise, I'm definitely going to upset Angel. I'll probably upset somebody else as well. Okay. All I need to do is go to there and there. And there we go. All right. Happy days. How was your weekend, guys? Did you recover from Friday's? Well, maybe Friday was great for you in the markets. I can't say that because it kind of upset me a little bit to wake up Saturday morning, having not looked at the charts too much on Friday, to find that all of my nice little profit running things had been taken out with stop losses hit. Well, I guess at least they were profitable stop losses, but yeah, a little bit disappointing. That's the way that's the way the Bicky breaks sometimes. And guess what? We just start all over again. It's as simple as that. Righto. Let's get to the pound trade fairly quickly. Happy month. Yeah, it's new month, Paul P. Is it not? Absolutely true. Pinch and a punch. There you go. Done. Yeah, it was a bad Friday, John. No question about that. I've got no idea why, what happened, etc. I just kind of caught up with it Saturday morning when I was looking to manage my positions when I got out of bed. Nothing to manage. It was all over. Righto, let's get into the pound breakout trade first of all. And what do we got today? We're going to do the optimized version. So we're going to trade the last 5 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which looks very much like today. It's going to be almost 1 bar because the low of that range is there. The high of that range is the current bar. And she's pretty much sandwiched in between the daily and the weekly pivot. Don't know if I'd be willing to get into that if I was filtering this, but that's not the object of the exercise. Righto, so let's set some parameters, shall we? I think that's higher. Yes, it is. The high entry will be 1.3998 plus 3. So 1.4001. My goodness, that's complex. 1.4001. I think that's right. That'll be the buy order. 1.4001. Stop loss. That, of course, is 3 pips above the high of that bar. Now I'll just round that up a little bit. The stop loss is going to be at this stage. Looks like, yeah, now it is. That's the low of the bar. 1.3960 at this point. But if it goes any lower, that will change. So I won't put that in. What I can do is put the stop loss for the sell in, 1.4001. And that's about all I can do until this candle closes. Wow, I certainly wouldn't want to enter there. This is going to make this trade in terms of risk to reward, or reward to risk more accurately, pretty poor, because your risk is going to be substantial. Your reward is going to be dreadful because we've got to take all profit at weekly pivot or daily pivot at this point, because they're the rules. First support or resistance, you've got to take everything off the table. So look, I'm actually not going to trade that. That doesn't make any sense to me at all, really. The risk is substantial, being 40 odd pips. Reward to the high side is going to be less than half, and reward to the low side. So did I say I wasn't going to add any filters to this? I am, because that just does not make any sense to me. Is like 1/3 of the risk. No, not going to do it. What I could do is trade my system. So let's do that, which is sell at the low of the bar with the stop. It's going to be the same thing, right? Except we don't have that parameter, which says you can't, which says you have to get all out at daily pivot. We might be able to take first profit at daily pivot. Let me see if that's going to work. 41, so it'll be half, that'll be 20. No, it won't work. We can't take it. If we add filters. If we don't add filters, of course we can take it. Yeah, look, I'm not prepared to do that. Doesn't make any sense to me. Let's throw them good after bad, but I suppose we've got to trade something for the record, don't we? It's the conservative trader in me that's telling me not to do this, right? When in doubt, do nothing. I'm not going to do it. No. So there you go. If this goes up to here, then that'll prove it's the wrong thing to do. But it's just, to me, common sense. It's Monday. We've got a clear boundary up and down, and we've got a big risk candle. So no, not going to do it. Instead, what I will do is go through my watch list, which currently consists of 4. Kiwi CAD, Aussie Kiwi, Pound Kiwi would suggest that I've got Kiwi in the back of my mind, or maybe even in the front of my mind. There's no real reason for that. But I do see the technical levels that are giving me an indication that we are potentially going to sell the Kiwi throughout the week. That's potential, it's not a certainty. I'll start with Kiwi CAD, shall I? Now, Kiwi CAD, let's go through the motions. Kiwi CAD is at a strong resistance level here, 92 to 92.50, in that vicinity somewhere. We've got a very reluctant, as the Japanese would say, we are rising in agony here. And that doesn't mean it can't keep going, because it can. But we haven't had a close above these highs here. And that, to me, is significant. And, of course, we do have a support level running through there as well. So for mine, even like the candle's really nice. But are we in a downtrend? No. So therefore, I couldn't be just taking that on spec. I don't think that's a very good idea. Instead, I'll wait for price to come down here, give us a lower high based on that high, and then we can look to trade it. That's a monthly chart, of course, but that's going to be applicable to everything. They're all the same. Weekly chart's got that big rejection bar as well. Daily chart has got, I actually don't know what you call that pattern. Ash will tell me when he comes in. Maybe it's not even a pattern. Maybe it's a evening star. I'll call it an evening star and see how we go with that. I used to know all those candle patterns, but those days are gone. But what I do see here on the daily chart, and that will interest me tomorrow, is this scenario. So we've got a break. We've hit the resistance level. The resistance level in my case is a confluence of those levels I showed you before. So these levels here, these highs. And of course, the top of my rising channel. Then we've bounced off that, come back below the trade line and retest. Well, currently retesting it on the daily chart. In the world of FOMO, you'd probably look at the 4-hour chart and go, well, that's not relevant. That's a daily trend line. Let's get rid of it. You'd probably take a look at the 4-hour chart and go, well, gee whiz, that's a nice little bar sitting there. And I can see people jumping on that at the moment. Not my go. If it was white and maybe even closed on the weekly pivot, that would be nice. So I can't trade that. It's not one for me. But I am very cognizant that if we can get below this level here, close below this level, this may well just shoot through, which is just one of those things. FOMO is something that I got rid of many, many moons ago. Instead, I call it my just-in-case trade, right? You know, it gets that way. So, look, I totally see this could well be the lower high that we seek. And if that's the case, then, you know, take profit at the monthly pivot and get your target hit down here at the bottom of the channel. But I'm going to wait and look at the daily chart tomorrow. And if the daily chart looks pretty much like this, I will trade the daily bar, not the 4-hourly bar. Of course, if we were to rally now, and can I see anything? Yeah, I can. If we were to rally now on a smaller time frame and break through that level, come back underneath it and retest the confluence area, then I'm in. I've got a reason to get in. But at the moment, I'm just waiting. In fact, what I'm seeing is a very, very nice slingshot scenario here. It is very nice. Let me have a look at that on the 30-minute chart. We might have a trade here. Yeah, we do. Okay. First candle of London session, Kiwi CAD. I'm okay with that. If it was the pound or the euro, I wouldn't be okay with that. Where do we put our stop loss is the question. Okay. This is a long to get short, by the way, guys. It's not a long to go through the top of this range. But we are going to place the trade. And we're going to go with a buy stop. And we're going to trade above this bar here. No need to get excited, super excited. It's counter momentum. 0.25%, something like that would be just adequate. The level, I haven't got the level. It looks like, if I can put my crosshairs on, 92.47. 9247 is the entry. Stop loss. We'll just sneak below there, I think. Pretty much where price is. 92.29. Giving us 18 pips of risk. Did I say 29? Yes, I did. And there you go. I'll give you a TP1 on that. It will be right about there, 92.54. I'll write this up for you guys. So it's Kiwi CAD. Interesting. My first look at the charts, and I'm going counter my bias instantly. Amazing. M30. To buy at, forgotten what it was, 92.47. There. 0.9247. Stop loss is 0.9229. And TP1 was 0.9255, I think. Is that right? Yep. No, 54, I said, didn't I? 9254. Okay. There is the trade. Now, as always, with these 30-minute trades, the first take profit. Hi, Lewis. How you doing, buddy? Hi, Helen. Yeah, I think so, Helen. I think it is a evening star, morning star. Yeah. You get mixed up. We've gone down. Sure thing it's going to be an evening. Going up, sure thing it's going to be a morning, put it that way. So there's our first trade of the week, guys. And as I say, with the 30-minute trades, if you are noticing, our first take profit is always very, very meager, but that's for a good reason. It gets us safe in the market very quickly. As I said, this is counter to my bias. I don't know that you can actually call it. Yeah, you would have to call it counter trend. Sorry, it's with trend. My bias is counter trend, and I really want to jump on this candle short tomorrow, as I said. But for now, I'm looking for that lower high, and if we can trade this up to here, we should do okay. Long to get short. Ash, how you doing, mate?
Oh, pretty good, mate. Yeah, just a quick suggestion for everybody to jump in long on the FTSE as well. Actually, I'll show you my
Okay.
chart. Sorry to cut the salutations off quickly, but we'll just quickly get to this, and then I've just jumped in myself. And it's one of those. I don't. The setup's no good really here, and if you want, put an order in at the weekly pivot. The best place to get in would be down here at 65.34, so we're about 35 pips away from there. So anywhere in this region, I think, is okay. You are trading into resistance here, but there are strong signals really that the FTSE is in a pretty good shape. So if you look at this technically, and this isn't a technical trade whatsoever. This is a first of the month. I think the market's going up trade, so I'm just going to get in. So there's two ways that you can play it. Follow your rules, of course, is always best to do if you are starting out. Then you can make some proper logs in it. So what I'd anticipate happening is it coming up here if we're looking at the technicals, resist that area, come back down to the weekly pivot, possibly this monthly pivot as well, because again, we're looking at this technically here, and there's the trend line, so that would suggest coming back down to this area somewhere. And if it starts to burst through that level, then I'll be out. So you can manage it if you like. My issue with not getting in personally is that it might just take off. And that's, as I say, it's kind of a first of the month thing. This can happen when you get a changeover. When a new period starts, you can just get an explosive move. And if it gets through this level, then we are likely to get back to these highs up here as well.
The old period ended with a bit of a bang, mate.
It did, yeah, it did. You know what, mate? As I was talking about, a few weeks ago, that 10-year really was putting equities under a lot of pressure, and it did end up really playing out as I thought it would do. The pound was interesting as well. We both picked a pound short. You picked the pound dollar, and I picked the pound yen. And they both dropped significantly. I have to say, your one was better than mine because the yen did bounce back. I didn't
make any money out of it. That was the problem.
I found it difficult as well, mate. I've got to say that the setup was absolutely. It was so aggressive. There wasn't really a setup. It was so aggressive, the move. It was really difficult to get into. So yeah, I had problems with it. I had problems with it myself, and I've given up on trading the pound short now. It's one of those. And I looked at the fundamentals recently, and actually they're okay. The pound's fundamentals are okay. When I ran through, the Aussie is having a bit of a wobble, and it does suggest that there could be an opportunity to buy up the Aussie.
Because I'm thinking that way myself.
Yeah,
I've got two trades that we'll get to, and not trades, but I'm very keen to get long pound Kiwi at the moment.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that later.
Yeah, I think that's fair, mate. Now, the other one that I've started to buy up, as I said to you last week, is gold and silver. I really like gold and silver, and I think it's going to be difficult to. Well, let's have a look at it. And let's see if there's a way. If anybody's interested in getting into this, let's see if there's a way that would be. Where's the safest place to get into this? Now, this is going to be slightly different here. Safest place to get into gold and silver. Good morning, Lewis. I've just started building a position, as I said I would do with gold. So gold first. I have put another order in just slightly lower, but I bought down at the lows and I bought here. So I bought first here. I'm below that particular point. I've bought down here. So I'm probably near halfway home. So this trade is around about flat at the minute. And the same with silver. As soon as silver started to bomb down on Friday, I was just buying it up. I bought it up. In fact, I bought it here, and then I bought it again here. And again, it could fail because we've got this trend line here, which it's pausing at currently. And it's not a short-term play. So there's every chance that this comes down, and maybe even a little bit lower, because it's still quite lofty up here. So it's a much longer term play, and I haven't put in much. I'm going to go in again here. I'll leave these positions on. I'll go in again down here if that's necessary. But I really do like the gold and silver story potentially to get some really good upside. The issue is the 10-year bond, because the 10-year bond yield going up does not help gold out, because if we're thinking about inflation, then it gets as a store of value. It doesn't. The inflation starts to get capped, if you like, because if the bond is above the inflation rate, then really gold is not something which is going to protect people's income for that hyperinflation environment. And I was reading some really, really interesting articles on this over the weekend, mate, about inflation, about the money supply, and how the money supply back in 2008 was similar. We had QE back in 2008. So really, what was the situation if we look back to kind of if we look back to 2008, 2009, we did have this big running goal, but really, off the back of that, it started to dive to the downside, and that was because the inflation story didn't really come into play then, and it was because even though the Fed were pumping lots and lots of money into the banks weren't lending at the same rate that the money was being printed at. Where did I buy gold? I bought what, on MT4? You mean, Helen? Did I buy? When you say where, do you mean what price, or do you mean what did I trade it on MT4? Oh yeah, so I've done a couple of different things. If you're interested in buying gold, and you're already interested in this, okay, Helen, you're going to like this. Now I don't know whether you can get these guys. I can't find a way to get these guys. But write down these two names. The first one is McEwen Mining. I think it's MCGEWEN, but have a look. It might be MGEWEN. McEwen Mining. It's a Canadian company, and the other one is Newfound Group, I think they're called, the Newfound Group, which is they've got a really young CEO. McEwen Mining have been around for time. The guy that's running McEwen Mining has worked for some of the biggest mining corporations, and he's a really important player. He sounds like he knows what he's doing, and he's also invested a little bit in Newfound, and they're both Canadian. You can get it on the is it the VGC? VGX or something? I can't remember the Canadian exchange. But if you can get either of those guys, I would suggest putting a little bit of money into it. The reports that I read suggest that Newfound Gold could go to the moon. It could go anywhere. And we're talking about cryptocurrencies getting your 10x. This is where you get your 10x in commodities. You go to the small mining corporations that have got something exciting happening for them. Don't just look for small mining corporations, but some exciting developments that are transpiring. And you just buy some of those guys up, because those guys do go to those 10, 20x's. Oh, can I spell them? No, I can't, because I don't know the spelling. I think I looked. So Newfound. Let's put it on the screen here.
While you're doing that, I'll just answer a couple of questions. Lex, and I know that Angel has answered your question. That would be the best course of action, because we have got no idea. We're just traders. We don't know anything about the admin, so I really can't help you there, buddy.
Okay, so this is the one. This is one that is worth looking at. And if I can find a way in, if you can find a way for which exchange to trade this on, let me know, because I looked for ages last night. Newfound Gold. I think they're about $3 right now. $3 a share. They could go anywhere. You know, according to the stuff that I was reading, they literally, you know, the sky's the limit. And the reason for these guys, now these guys are really, really interesting, because with the stuff I was reading, they are potentially sitting on a gold reserve that the planet has never seen before. That's what I read. That's what I was reading about. There's still a long way to go with these guys, so these still may not jump. But it's one of these guys. No, not crypto. No, it's an actual gold mining stock in Canada. We'll talk about the crypto one as well if you like. Newfound Gold. So these guys are apparently sitting on some of the biggest gold reserves the planet has ever seen. So really, really interesting. Now the other one is, there was a couple of others that I was reading about, but these two really kind of stood out to me. The other one was, I think they're called. Let me just see if I can get the right spelling.
Again, while you're doing that, Lewis, I'm very close to a pound Kiwi long. Absolutely. I'm waiting on something. I'll point it out to you a little bit later, but there's every reason to go in now. I get it, totally get it, and I'm maybe just being a little bit cautious, but yeah, I'm there with you for sure. And someone asked me about pound Swissy. Yeah, look. I'm going to have to say wait on pound Swissy as well, and I'll show you why in a minute. This could potentially be a false breakout of the weekly pivot. It could also be an ABC as you suggest, but I want to wait till this hourly candle closes before I make a decision on that. Sorry, mate.
No problem, mate. No problem at all. So McEwen Mining at 10 cents. These are these guys are nice and cheap. Their all-time highs are at $10, and they're currently at $1. So you know, they could do a 10x. They did $10 in 2011. And when I look at the gold charts, I do like to see those ones that rallied significantly in 2011, because you can look right through gold miners, and they didn't all rally that hard at that particular point. So it would suggest, oh, you're just going to have to go to your broker, but buy the shares. You know, you're not looking to trade this. You're looking to buy shares in this, which is what I'm going to try and do if I can. Now, the other thing you can do is go and buy Pax Gold. Pax Gold. Now, this is a crypto. Now, the thing with Pax Gold is that it's was it Shukri talking about this, or was it my mate? I can't remember, but it was well, somebody was telling me about Pax Gold. It might have been Shukri actually, and he's going to be much better equipped than I am. But with Pax Gold, you can buy those guys from where did I find these guys? Not Kraken. I don't think it was Kraken. It was another one. Can't even remember where you buy these guys. Let me just see. And I've had a nightmare trying to get these guys as well. Now with Pax Gold track the price of gold. However, is it Kraken? Oh, I tell you what. I know where it was. It was. Hold on, sorry about this. Oh, I can't even find it. They've just, you know what? I sent an email to these guys because I couldn't sign up, and my email has not been. Oh, I'll tell you who it might be. It might have been, I think it was these guys. You can buy these guys from BlockFi. Buy these guys from BlockFi. Now, the interesting thing with these guys is that you can buy Pax Gold and it will track the price of gold, but you can then stake it, which is the good thing about this, because you can't make any money out of owning gold, but you can if you buy the miners, if they pay a dividend. That, you know, some of these young guys probably won't pay a dividend, but you're looking for that really big jump in the price. These guys are the ones where you get the kind of 5 to 10x's. You know, when the smaller mining stocks. There's things like Sentiment. Poly International have just managed to find a load of gold as well. Now, Poly International are a UK listed company, and they are solid. So you won't get, I think they're called Poly International. I'll just double check. You won't get that much out of Poly International, but when it comes down to the kind of 5-10x is really in a kind of small hit. They did do a 3 times when the pandemic was on, but they are pretty nicely established now. So Polymetal International, but they just keep finding reserves. Really good company. I looked at the balance sheet of these guys, and they are really good. So Polymetal International would be something that I would form a portfolio against. So you could buy the main stake possibly in Poly International, because these guys aren't going to zero. They've got a really good, strong balance sheet. McEwen probably aren't going to zero. You got a margin of safety because they're only at $1. So, the worst that could happen is that if you put in $1,000, you're going to lose $1,000. No big deal, really. Newfound Gold, the same thing. Unlikely to go to zero. These have got some really good management. These 2 companies is why I like these 2 the most out of the smaller mining ones. But these are the ones that are going to make the bigger money, bigger than Polymetal. Then you can trade Pax Gold and effectively trade the move of gold. So rather than owning physical, which you could do as well, but the spreads on physical are really expensive, you could trade this, and this tracks the price of physical, and you buy it from BlockFi, and then you can stake it and make, I think they were sort of like talking about between 5 and 8%. So the fact that you can make a percentage on your physical gold is really good. So, the way I would sort of probably spread something like this out is that if I had, let's say, $5,000 to invest, then I'd probably put 250 in here, 2,500 in this one here, just for that safety mechanism. And then I'd split the remaining 2,500 with kind of 8, maybe sort of like putting in a little bit more in Pax Gold over the McEwen and Newfound Gold or something. Maybe 700 each in these 2, leaving you about 1,100 to go into Pax Gold. So I'd probably sort of like split it down. So let's say 750 here, 750 here. And then I probably sort of like, maybe put the final $1,000 in here. I think that would be probably a decent way to play it, and which means that you're putting the main stake in the most stable of all of them, because it will probably absorb if these guys don't. Because Newfound Gold, they're sitting on this mine, but they haven't managed to get it out just yet. But if they do, they are going who knows where. If they don't, they probably won't come down too far. I mean, they really are. They're a very young company, but they've got a really exciting CEO, and they've got the potential to really do something quite special. So those guys I think are interesting. And if you find a way to get into Newfound Gold, please tell me, because I can't figure it out right now. But Ash, as gold is still going down, not yet to buy crypto, gold, or... Well, this is the thing. And this is where you've got to be quite cute on how you enter, Helen. Because, yes, gold is still going down, and it is a bit of a concern. But where do you start building a position? And the way my philosophy is that I look at the very lowest point that I want to get in. So if where would I lose interest in gold? Probably down here, around about 1374. So let's call it 14, just for argument's sake. I wouldn't want it to get below $1,400. So if that's my lowest position to get into gold, then I've got to start saying, right, well, if I've got a certain amount of money. Now, if you go into that $5,000 between the 14 and 1730 where we are now, 1750 where we are now, then you're going to have to put on less of a proportion, because you're going to have to save some back for these lower levels down here. So Pax Gold is probably the thing that I probably get into first. Ash, NFG is listed on TX. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. Yeah, I got you, Jira. Yep. That's the problem, isn't it? Yeah, Newfound Gold is listed on TXX Venture, which is a small Canadian index. I can't. Do you know what I was advised? Go and buy the TSX Venture on a ECF. I don't want TXX Venture. I want Newfound Gold. So I don't know how to get into these guys. There's probably, if you do enough digging around, you can probably find a way in, but I can't do it on my broker. But I'm sure some of the smaller ones would offer it, but then you might have a risk of having a bogus broker. So that's going to take some research. Is Simon's wife Canadian? Is Simon in? we might need to employ Simon to help us out with this, Jeff. He's not in today. He's not in today. All right, let's chat.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So she's Canadian. Okay. Well,
I didn't know that.
No, I didn't either. Well, that would help. That might help us out. Yeah, if she's Canadian and she can find a way in for us, then that'd be fantastic.
Is she a broker?
I don't know if she's a broker. I doubt it. Yeah, I suppose that's an option, isn't it? That you contact some Canadian. Yeah, somebody's Canadian. Yeah, actually, I've got a mate who's got some Canadian contacts. I'll speak to him because he's always badgering me for for stock tips.
So is it a Canadian company we're talking about?
Yeah, that's the problem,
Right,
mate.
okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and they're only small. It'd be like you guys trying to trade in something like Seven Digital in this country, which is another very, very small company. So I'm surprised though that everything isn't just interlinked and you can do something. I'll ring my broker. I'm sure that there might be a way for them to do it. They're a main player in this country, so I will give them a call and see if they can get me in to buying those guys. But yeah, those guys I think are of interest anyway. So that's the thing I wanted to mention. Was there anything else? We were talking about the pound. Don't think
Belated hello to USF as well. Sorry, and hi Andy, how you doing, mate? Nice to see you.
So anyway, mate, that's where we're at. That is where we're at. Oh, there you go. There's the FTSE. So it's testing that level now. Can it get through? It's already struggling once. Now, there's no point in buying here. If you're sort of interested in the FTSE now, there's no point in buying here. And the reason there's no point in buying here is, okay, it may not happen. It may just kind of explode to the upside. But the reason there's no point in buying here is that if it comes through, then really you're looking for this area to hold so you can go in. I've got no question that my price is pretty useless here. But I've got a relatively busy day, and I'm not going to be sitting looking at the charts. Yes, I might be able to put some orders in here, but weekly pivot still looks really good. The monthly pivot looks fantastic, and you'd be looking for that one to come back as well potentially. But look for some weakness here, and then see if you can pick it up if you like the FTSE. That's pretty much what I've got right now, mate. As I say, the pound has proved really difficult to get into. I shorted this on Friday, and it's already popped up over the weekend. And
look at that! That's
yeah,
a classic.
Yeah, it's been a tough one, mate.
There's a false break if ever I've seen one. Man.
Yeah, undoubtedly, yeah, and it took me out on the way through, which has been very, very painful. It's been a very painful experience me for the pound. And this is the thing: sometimes you can be right and still be wrong because you either don't quite get the entry. And I found this recently with the pound is that most of the stuff that I've traded recently has been with the pound has just been chopping around and cutting me in and cutting me out. And I've just kind of lost the will to live with trying to trade the pound because I tried with the Aussie. I tried the same thing with the Aussie, and as I say, I ended up being right, but being wrong because I just couldn't get the correct entry. Every time it made a high and came off the high, I put the stop at the high, and it would go and break that high again, and then all of a sudden, then this is what happened with the yen. I think I was getting in somewhere around there. It pops up again, and then it just plummets. It plummeted here. There was no pullback.
Big correction Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, it was impossible. And I had a little trend line in here, and I was watching this, and I was thinking, oh, great, okay, we might have something here. Plummeted down. I had an order on this level, didn't come and test it, and then bang, it just went. But it really has been messing me about. It's not been friendly to me at all. Why is the pound behaving this way? Well, I suppose a few theories
Yeah,
really.
there's a mix of things, isn't there? Really,
Yes.
and that's why, because one thing's positive, one thing's negative. It's all over the shop.
Exactly. The thing with the pound is that we, firstly, and I think probably most significantly, is that we're getting that hangover from Brexit now. We're getting the kind of people making their decisions on the UK economy after being so suppressed for so long. It's just been like a coiled spring waiting to jump. And that's what we've had. We've had the big jump, and now I suppose we're starting to get into that more fundamental thing. Well, is the pound now at fair value, or is it or has it got a little bit further to go before it gets to fair value of where the fundamentals now sit? So before it was just speculation about what Brexit would do, but we still don't really know what Brexit is going to end up doing, because but because the fundamentals, haven't really kind of caught up with the new normal. And I guess people are kind of speculating: will it be better than expected? Will it be worse than expected? Will it be the same as before? So the price pushed up with the speculation it'd be the same as before, and now the realization might be kind of setting in. So we're just getting this really kind of wild, choppy price action, and it's just too volatile. It is just way too volatile. If you're going to trade the pound against anything, I would suggest taking a position on a very short-term basis rather than long-term, because it's too volatile to play on the long term. Yeah, pound is yeah. I've had a nightmare with the pound, so I'm coming away from it. Not been my friend at all, mate.
I'll hold it up.
You hold it up for me.
Yeah, I'm going to trade it absolutely not against the dollar. I've sacked the dollar again. I've got the SH1Ts with the dollar. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to wait now again till it resumes its downward path before I get interested.
Yeah, well, the dollar has had a pretty good run of it as well, isn't it? It's done all right.
Well, it caused the plummet on Thursday, Friday for the pound, for the Aussie, for everything. It just smashed everything out. Well, it looks like a good trade of yours there, mate.
Yeah, it's okay, isn't it? It's okay. Let's see if we can get back to these highs. We go back to these highs. Thing is with the FTSE is that it's still a bit of a ways off. Now I could do with a bit of pound weakness because it might help this FTSE trade out. But who knows? This might actually get up to be a actually, why not? Could it get to the 7,000? Why not? I don't know, in this particular run. Yeah, why not? Why couldn't it get up to this 7,000 level in this run? It may well do. It started, and that's still, if we look at this on a weekly, it could get up to 7,000, and it's still way off this 7,006. So maybe we're on a charge back to the upside proper here. As I said, I didn't love my entry, but it's probably the best I could get. Now that's going to be the interesting area there, isn't it? Let's see what that is. Yeah. It's got to get, if it gets through and settles here, I think that this might be safe. And it might be safe for something longer term. Now, this is a little bit different, where the pound I wouldn't hold. With the FTSE, I would. I'd want to hold on to this for as long as I could, and just see if that position can be made safe and just left. Maybe even not taking profit on the way up. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it looks like it could be under pressure here. Actually, yeah, it looks all right, mate. But actually, when you start digging in, it may not be there yet.
There's still some headwind there.
It does look like it. It's got to get through these highs here. If it breaks 6,600, which we're about 7 pips away from, 6,006 and holds, I think we should be in some pretty good shape. And then I might just I might get the opportunity to make this trade relatively safe. Always concerned when the monthly pivot is down here, and will it test it at some point? It still could do that, couldn't it?
Yeah, they're magnetic, aren't they? Especially when they're close like that.
Yeah. I'd like a big one out of this, but I don't know whether I'm going to get a chance. Tempted to take the profit on this lower one. It's practically at break even. That would help the other trade out, you see. Actually, I probably want to take it on the upper one. Let me just have a look.
You want me to go through a few while you're...
Yeah, go through a
Working that
few,
out?
mate. Yeah, I've got to have a look around and see what the likelihood is that this comes off significantly. It looks all right now. I'm going to leave it for right now, actually.
Okay, happy days. Just have a
yeah.
little think. That's all good.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Give me 5.
Right, let's start with the pound breakout trade that we didn't take today. Because, well, the optimized version would have won, but it would have won a very small amount, and that's why I didn't take that one. Our version would be going okay, would be through TP1 now, but I think it would. Yeah, it would be. Risk was 40 something, wasn't it? And you're looking for, yeah, it's now through TP1, but hell of a risk trading through an untested daily pivot. So I just had to say no on that. So, pardon me. A few questions on pound Kiwi. We were talking earlier about pound Kiwi. I'm ready to trade pound Kiwi, but I want to see this candle close. And I'd love to see it close here. That would be awesome because it means it smashed pivots. And if that is anything to go by, the obvious binary situation is we're going to go this way with momentum, or if that doesn't happen, the other side of the coin is something else happens, and that is it goes that way. Why am I so keen? Well, here's why I'm so keen. We have, this is the monthly chart I'm looking at. We spoke about these two candles last month in beautiful tweezer bottom at a support level. And it's a bit of a zone of a price here, I must say, but you can see the resistance, the support. It's all in that little clouded area, and that's where we've rejected, or where price is rejected. And it, well, crawled its way back into this ascending channel, and now looking to retest it on the monthly. So if we fail here to get a nice trade in, then I'll certainly look for the monthly in 30 days time. Be patient, although we've been very patient so far. But here we have on the weekly chart, lovely double bottom, a lovely higher low, a higher high now, and perhaps this is the second higher low. And if you like trading rejections of monthly pivots with a bullish candle, then I would certainly be thinking that's not the worst trade to be taking. I hate to trade white candles long, and for that reason, I'm not yet in the market. All of that said, tomorrow, if I see this candle here as an inside bar, and the only reason that's not going to be an inside bar, in my humble opinion, will be if it breaks the high. Now, what this actually is a key reversal bar. And if this is an inside bar tomorrow, it's a key reversal bar followed by an inside bar. The only issue is, where is the primary trend? And I think I've got to say the primary trend is down. You can make an argument that the current trend is, well, the current trend is long. I get that. So I'd probably be willing to use that as a combination, which is something I do like to trade, as you know. Key reversal bar, new low based on the previous bar, and then closed on or near its high, followed by an inside bar. Now, the argument that we put up to counter that is that the previous two bars fit exactly that criteria. So that was a key reversal bar. That was an inside bar. Actually, it wasn't an inside bar because the low was lower. Okay, I'm excused, or the system's excused. So that didn't work out, but it wasn't an inside bar. So I get that. And that's why it's important. It's important that this bar that is forming today is actually an inside bar. And if it is, as I said on the 4-hour chart, or any chart, if it closed below the pivots, I'd be super happy. Then I'd place a long here and my stop loss would be underneath the pivots or underneath the bar. Beautiful double bottom, beautiful higher low, higher high, broke out of the what you have to refer to as a neckline. There's the neckline there, very clear, broken out, retested, and now we're at that point again. We've broken it again. We're retesting it again at the moment. Very, very interesting. So I'm super keen to get long that. How? Like I said, I'd be willing to get in on the 4-hour chart, but I've got to close down here somewhere. At least one of the pivots, close below one of the pivots, and I'd be happy to do that. So it may not be that far away. I don't think I want to trade it on a smaller time frame for the reasons that I've just given. I want to see this really reject this area, and the best way to do that is to get a close below it and then come back above it. The question about pound Swissy earlier was, is there an ABC on the hourly chart? And you can totally see that. Break gives us an A point, retest gives us a B point. But did we get the retest of the trade line? No. The weekly pivot, probably yes, which really suggests that if price goes back to this high, it will continue to go. And I don't have a problem with that at all. I would prefer, I've got to say, and as I said before, to see the trade line retested, which has now happened on the hourly chart. And perhaps there is a trade above this bar here. I will look at that. What have we got? 14 minutes to go. On the 30-minute chart, same. So we've got break, new high, not closed above it, but there is a new high. And now we're getting the retest of both the weekly pivot and the trade line. So there may well be a little trade in there for us a little bit later. Again, we've got the beautiful double bottom. You could even call it a head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders if you want. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. That makes that the neckline. And the neckline has now been broken and retested. So I do like it. Absolutely like it. I think, was that you, Jira, who pointed that out? Or who was asking the question? I think it might have been. So I'm totally on board with that. And in 12 and a half minutes time, I'll probably make a decision on that as to whether I'm going to trade it or not. Pound Kiwi we've spoken about. Swissy yen we haven't. And the Swissy yen most definitely on my watch list, again, because of where we are in terms of support and resistance. So the monthly chart, pretty clear. I don't even have to put a line on there. You can see with where price is, which is that white line, that we've come off again this level, which is, I can't remember. The level is somewhere between 118 and 119. Let's call it 119 just to be a little bit on the conservative side. And we've come off that yet again with this bar here. The next bar wasn't very interesting because, we got down here, but then woof, straight back and had another look at that level. Daily chart is kind of giving me a bullish signal, and it happens because of that. It's very similar to what I've just been looking at on Pound Kiwi, right? False break potential here. Up, back, on the pivots. Some thought about trading that bar long. Not a lot, I've got to say, because I've then got to trade straight back into this resistance level. Big bearish engulfing bar on the daily. This is probably the lower high, may not be, but it looks to me like it would be. So I'm getting conflicting evidence there. So I don't know right now which is the right way to go. 4-hour chart is a little bit indecisive, as you can see, but also indicating that this may well be a false break of that support trade line. Pivots are also on a Monday very, very obstructive, I'll put it that way, because they are so close together. First of the month, that often happens. But you can see price is absolutely wedged in between them. So to trade outside there right now is not my preference at all on Swiss yen, but I am keen to play this as a short, but I just can't find a way right now. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do that in the next 24 hours. I think probably what I need to see is price get back to here, reject that level one more time with a bar maybe that looks like that. Then I've got an insurance capability underneath me. If the momentum carries to the upside, then fine, who cares? We don't get in the trade. So that's where I am on Swiss yen, looking to trade short, but I need to see something a little bit better. Pound Kiwi we've spoken about. Aussie Kiwi, I said from the outset that it looks like I've got a set against the Kiwi. This is kind of a little bit different. And I said before, the order that we placed an order, didn't we, on Kiwi CAD, which looks like we'll cancel very, very shortly. I was looking to trade this long to get short. It looks like at the moment, and again, don't be completely misled by this. This could very well go into consolidation here as well. It doesn't look like it at the moment. It looks very, very bearish, but I would be very surprised if we don't hang around here for the rest of the day without going too much further. Would I like to cancel the long at this point? I think probably I will, because what we're now asking price to do is go, let's say it stops there. It's only 33 pips. It's not that big a deal. Yeah. You'd think a far better entry would be to try and scalp it off the monthly pivot, wouldn't you? And I agree with that. But what if it keeps going? And I don't know that that's not going to be the case. So don't forget I've got a short bias. I'm just looking for a lower high to get short. This was a trade to get short, remember? And if the current bar on the daily chart, actually I thought that was the current bar. That was Friday's bar. Really? No, can't be.
Second half the profit on the FTSE, mate.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of weakness coming in. So I've just take close to half that trade if anybody's interested in that.
There you go, guys.
And you can move the stops up on the second half as well, because the if this comes all the way back down again to entry, I mean, it's going to be a near 0.5% drop, and just given the market action, I think this is going higher. And just given the market action, if it comes all the way back down again to that point, let's see if we can get back in there. So I'll put stops at break even on the second half. So that is securing near enough 0.5%, near enough.
Happy days. Okay, I'm nearly done, to be fair. The current candle, which is this one that keeps trying to close or get back below this trade line, is the one that I'm interested in, really interested in. But if it goes short from here, then I've missed the boat. Can I take anything from? Yeah, I can. Look, I can get in earlier, but price has got to break this level again, looking for that long to get short. May not happen, but if it does, I'll be looking to climb all over that. Maybe that's actually better if we do break out of here now, then come back below the monthly pivot, the new monthly pivot, and these lows, retest that confluence area. Maybe that's the best way in. But that is certainly my bias on Kiwi CAD. The only trade that we have left, guys, is Euro CAD. And actually, I haven't got it on this chart, but we are, look at that. What a piffling, ponderous position to be in. We missed our TP1 by 5 pips. I think it was 5 pips, the low of that bar. Not even 5209.8. Our first take profit on this trade is 5205. Having been in it since, how long have we been in this now? 1, 2, this is the 3rd month we've been in this trade. Thank goodness it's positive swaps. But there's nothing to do here at all, guys. Nothing to do. Just watch and wait and hopefully eventually we'll smash through that level. Questions. Lewis, pound Kiwi may do a reverse head and shoulders if drop to daily pivot. Okay, let's have a look at that. On the 4 hour, maybe. Yep. I think we already got it, you know. To me, you know, this is the left side. This is, I'll call it a double bottom anyway. I think we've already had it. And now is the time. Now is the time on the bigger picture to wait for that entry. If we miss it, I won't be happy because it means we're going to have to chase a second one. But it is what it is. But I totally see what you're saying. There's a shoulder there, a head there, and a potential right shoulder. I'm not as focused on that as I am on the false break. The false break looks pretty clear to me. And on a daily chart, gee, I want to see this tomorrow. I want to wake up with a bearish bar that closes here. Inside bar, key reversal. Yep, that's the one I want. We'll see if that happens. I haven't got too much more, mate, really, at the moment. That's about where I'm at.
Yeah, just one other thing, actually. I'll just...
Sorry, mate. Kiwi CAD 30-minute close. Oh, that's a question. Yeah, I'm indecisive about that, really, because this could still go. Maybe we could catch it on a bigger time frame. It's a terrible entry now based on where price is, there's no question. But everything that I see here is telling me that if we go to here, we're going to here. This area. Maybe I can put a level in there even. There somewhere, DR1. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Sorry, mate, go.
No, I was just going to mention just one other thing. Now, with the FTSE, the thing with this, the thing with putting stops at break even is that I wonder whether this might come a little bit lower. Now, we discussed, so I've taken half profit on this one already. And the reason I've put stops at break even is this is underneath, which is a better price. This is underneath, which is a better price. This is underneath, which is a better price. And potentially the trend line will be underneath as well by the time it comes down there. So because of all this, I think it's worth putting stops at break even. I wouldn't normally do that because, you know, you'd normally have enough room to kind of just slide your stops under, but that doesn't make any sense to me. If this gives it all the way back, then okay, there's not much more in there. There's about another 10 pips, but 10 pips is 10 pips. So if we're going to get that, if it's going to just thunder back to the downside, either is going to start showing signs of and signals of reversal, so we don't want to be in, or it comes down here and gives us another entry and we get in with a retest, which is, you know, always going to be the best way to do it. Now the other thing is that this area may hold up, so we've got one area that could hold, you know, with our current stop loss. So I think it's worth securing the profit personally and just moving those stops to break even. You may feel differently. You might want to slide them up afterwards, which is also fine. Oh gosh, didn't want to do that. Yeah, which is also fine. But God, I didn't know you could right click and it would trigger in a little buy limit order. That's a new thing for me.
Hey.
Yeah, I'll just right click. Oh no, I must have double clicked it.
That sounds dangerous to me.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? So yeah, there we go. Anyway, mate. So that's the FTSE. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is a different way to trade Bitcoin, and there is a company called sorry, I've lost the chat.
Is this specifically Bitcoin or cryptos?
Specifically Bitcoin. Specifically Bitcoin. Right, specifically Bitcoin. Yes, you can trade them with these guys. And they're a company called Argo Blockchain. And there's a few of these. But these guys are producing, I think, 93. Let me just see what it is. Currently producing, anyway. Now, if you'd have to believe in Bitcoin to want to trade these guys. They're mining 93 Bitcoin a month. Now, because of the way that blockchain works, it might end up that they don't get any more out of it. You just don't know. But they are building a massive area in, I think it's Texas, where they're going to be having lots of computers that will be their sole purpose will be mining Bitcoin. So these guys, if Bitcoin does well, will do well. No, I don't know if they'll ever pay a dividend, and you might just prefer to play Bitcoin as an option instead. But if they do, if things do go well for them, then going back to what's happened this year, Bitcoin. What do we say? Bitcoin is up this year. I'm not even sure what Bitcoin's up this year. But if we look at Argo blockchain from the very first of the month, they are up by, and we'll have a look at Bitcoin as well and just see what Bitcoin's up by. Argo blockchain from where we started the year to where we are now, up 759%, so up north of 750%. Bitcoin is up by, and this is the interesting thing about these mining stocks, some of these mining stocks. This is a Bitcoin miner. Bitcoin since the start of the year is up by, I can guarantee it's not 759%. They are up by Bitcoin.
Run out of fingers and toes there, mate, real quick.
Yeah, Bitcoin's up by 63%. So you get 10 times plus more of your money back if you trade Argo blockchain instead of Bitcoin. So just a quick heads up for everybody that there's a couple of ways to maybe look into these cryptocurrencies. One would be Argo blockchain. I really like that. The other one would be buying Pax Gold and staking it and getting yourself a 5 to 8% return on staking that as well, which, as I said, gold does not pay a dividend. So any way that you can make a dividend out of gold is fantastic to my mind. So buy the miners, buy Pax Gold, play it in different ways. And if you want to trade Bitcoin, maybe it's not necessary. Trade Argo blockchain instead, and possibly get yourself another 10x out of Bitcoin, which probably won't travel that far. So that is just a heads up. That's what I'm looking at right now.
Happy days, mate. You're going to fly or you'll get sacked?
Yes, I will. Yeah. Don't want to get sacked from my job. I've only got another week left. So,
what happens then?
Well, our schools are open. Our schools are back open in a week. So I will be here, mate, with you. Well, I mean, obviously we finish around about 9, but I won't have to run.
Yeah, cool. All good.
Yeah.
I wish I had the song to play. But I probably have got the song to play, but I can't play.
Talking about Pink Floyd?
I don't know the band, but it's all about Happy Birthday, Helen.
Oh, is it your birthday, Helen? Oh, goodness me. Happy birthday, Helen. Oh, well, we're talking about Stevie Wonder, probably.
No, there's a song called Happy Birthday, Helen, isn't there?
Oh, is there? I don't know. I've never heard that.
Jiro's asking me a question, and I better answer it. So, if you want to wish Helen a happy birthday, go right ahead. And
happy birthday, Helen. Maybe some of those options might help your birthday out. See you soon, guys. See you tomorrow.
See you, mate. Have a good one.
See you, mate. Bye-bye.
Okay, Pound Swissy. Let's have a quick look and see if I'm going to trade Pound Swissy. The only reason I would pay, I would not. What has that happened? Yes, I am. I am screen sharing, I think. The only issue I have, message didn't go through from Lax. I'm sure you'll be dealing with that. Pound Aussie, I'll have a look at that in a minute. Right, the thing with Pound Swissy. The only thing I would say about Pound Swissy is if you get in, you've got to take profit at the high. For me, right? If you want to trade through it, happy days, and it goes 100 miles, you'll be well served. Am I going to take the trade? Left shoulder head, right shoulder break, retest. Yes, why not? Why not? I'm going to trade above that bar. This is the hourly candle, right? and the high is 2707, 127.07. And the stop loss is 126.83. Okay. Now, as I said, I will take my first profit and close half the position at 127.15. Where am I getting in? 127.07. So I've only got 8 pips of first take profit, which means, hang on, I'll write this down. 1.2707 and 1.2683. So 24 pips, 8, it's bang on my limit, right? 1/3. Your TP1 is 127.31. Okay. To understand why I do what I do is probably difficult for some people. Just below yesterday's daily pivot, that's fine. And way below DR2, fine. The reason I do what I do is to get out of a risk position at any time. Shiv, I'll get the pound Aussie yet for sure. I just want relaxed trading, that's all. So if I hit TP1, close half my position, yes, my reward to risk goes absolutely down the SH1T chute. There's no doubt about that. But that's fine. That's the way I trade. I'm more than happy to do that because I can then relax and have absolutely no stress. Of course, still got to get there. Pound Aussie. Let's have a look at Pound Aussie. Everyone's all over the pound. Ash sack the pound. Chart window. Okay, let me analyze Pound Aussie. If we go to the big picture, let's go to the bigger picture. And what do we see? Well, the first thing I see is a market structure that looks like this. And that's telling me that we are still below that breakout level. It's not telling me anything else, but it's telling me that we are still below that breakout level and in consolidation. If I zoom in a little bit further, yeah, I've got a range there. So there I've got a range. We've last come off the bottom of that range and we're headed towards the top. We've got a big bull bar there. You could be excused for actually trading above that bar. That's a weekly chart, putting a stop loss below it. I could totally get with that. Same here. You're coming off the bottom of the range. You put in higher highs and a higher low, then a big bull bar. That's the problem. The problem is that big bar on Friday, and we still don't know whether that's going to be a change of moment, a change of sentiment. Certainly was a change of certainly a change of sentiment on the day or Thursday. As soon as US session started, by the look of it, we had on Thursday, we had rally. In fact, just a skyrocket. I can't see for mine how I can trade that. It's just too hot to handle. So I'd have to see a decent retracement. Now, like I said on Pound Kiwi, and here's a subtle difference. If you look at Pound Kiwi has bounced off last month's monthly pivot, not for the first time, but it put in a key reversal bar, which means its low was lower than the previous day, and it closed on or near its high. my little system suggests that if this is an inside bar, an insurance day bar, if you like, and closes as a bullish, a bearish bar or a black bodied bar, that's probably a better way to put it, black or red bodied bar, then I will trade that. But I think for mine, it is too early to actually trade that bar. It's too big. Because the question is, if you trade it and trade the breakout of that bar and you put your stop loss underneath that bar, which would be, to my mind, the sensible thing to do, or certainly the conservative thing to do, you've got a 360 pip candle and your nearest resistance level and therefore your safe area is about 100 odd. It's okay for me because I've got to take TP1 there. It's not the worst, but to me, this is still a question mark candle. I don't know what caused that. And I can't, for the life of me, think that now is the time to jump in. Retrace. It's Monday. Yes, it could go to the moon, but I want to see this pull back to the pivots. And I want to see it close near the pivots before I'm ready to trade it. So that is mine, mate. Shiv, that is me. I may be a little bit conservative. Sorry, that's pound Kiwi. Pound Aussie, same thing. But the difference is this has not been lower than the previous low. Closed on its high, certainly, and same would apply. Broken that level. Yes, we're looking to trade it long, but I want to see the pullback. I think I would still trade the pullback candle on pound Aussie if we got that back to there. But from a shorter time frame point of view, I've really got to be biased towards those pivots. And for that reason, until they actually maybe get a close below them, I just can't get interested in trading it. That's me. So pound Aussie, I'm a waiter. Pound Kiwi, I'm keen to get in, but I'm going to have to wait there as well, I think, because the candle's just too big to trade. As I said before, on the weekly chart, you could be excused for trading those bars because you've got tons of room for maneuver. But yeah, it's not something I'm keen on. Something I am keen on is having one last look at Kiwi CAD. The weekly silver trade, it finished up to SH1T, Helen. Yeah, it was very volatile. So I'm sworn off silver again. Absolutely sworn off silver. 2 trades, 2 losers on silver in my entire life. Okay, now I think we can cancel this order, guys, on Kiwi CAD. It's just gone too far now. But here's the thing. Why can't I cancel that? Okay, I'll do it in a minute. So this one's cancelled, guys. Cancel the order. What I will wait for is price to get back to this trade line because I'm getting heaps of warning here. This is telling me that we're going one more time to a higher level before we go short. So that could happen on the daily bar. As I said, this is my want for tomorrow. Trade the daily bar, but it's got to be white. Don't really care if it closes below or on the trade line, but if it closes at the pivots, all the better. Short under there, stop loss there. So all these trades are very, very similar, right? We had the big bar on Friday looking for a smaller inside bar today to trade them in the opposite direction or the same direction as the big move bars, right? But with a pullback. So cancel this one, but on this trade line here, on the 4-hour chart, on the hourly chart, on all charts, I'm getting these warning signals. And they're telling me that if price goes back to the top of these bars, it's going to go long. Not for a long time. I'm not considering that, but up to this area on a small time frame, yes. So if we got the same thing over here, so an approach and a pullback, approach, pullback, approach, pullback, approach, pullback. Every time it's hit there, it's come back off it. If we get that again over here, say, then I would still be willing to trade that long. But this order now has got to go. Just can't get rid of it. There you go. No point waiting for 6 bars to finish on Kiwi CAD before closing the trade. Giro, it's something that I do, absolutely. But I think now we're asking, and here's why I'm saying what I'm saying. We're now asking price to go 42 pips this direction before we get into the trade, and then another 7 at least to get TP1. So 50 pips it's got to move to get us our TP1 from where it is now. And then to get to the target area, it's got to go 80, 90 pips to get us the target, right? So here's how I work out whether that's a viable proposition or not. Go to inserts, go to indicators, go to average true range. Hang on to that. You've got to be on the daily chart to do it. So go inserts, indicators, average true range. This is an indicator I probably should have on my chart. So let's go back 20 days. That's fine. That's 4 weeks of trading. And we'll find out that the ATR, although climbing, is only 60 pips, which means that the current monthly, let's call it a monthly, true range of Kiwi CAD is only 60 pips, and we're asking it to go 80 or 90 pips to get us our target. So it's 1.5 times the average true range. So that's why I'm now willing to say, let's close it and look for a far better entry. Hope that makes sense. And it is quite important if you're trading intraday and looking for targets. If you're trading end of day, trend, whatever, daily charts, not important. But if you are on smaller time frames, very important to know where your potential reward is, and if it's achievable. Okay, so that one's cancelled. Kiwi CAD, pound Swissy, pound Aussie. We've talked about pound Swissy. And I will add this to pound Swissy, right? If you see price close below here and then get a bull bar back across, or even retesting that trend line or trade line, and importantly, the weekly pivot, change positions and trade it short. First take profit at the daily, second take profit at the monthly. Okay. That's pound Swissy. But if it goes, and hopefully it goes, we'll be looking good. So cancel it, or cancel Kiwi CAD. Absolutely cancel Kiwi CAD. And wait and see if you get another setup. It may yet come. All right, guys, I hope you've got all that. Could I repeat pound Swissy going the opposite trade? Yep, sure. Okay, so if pound Swissy, let me draw it for you, probably easier. If pound Swissy were to get a close below that trend line, so say there, and the next bar is a bull bar, which either retests the trend line and or the pivot, preferably or the pivot and or the pivot, then put a short underneath there with your stop loss above there. Take profit 1 here, target here. Got that one? You're welcome, Giro. No problem at all. All right, we best let Angel go and do something else for the rest of the day. And thank you for your company, guys. We'll do it all again tomorrow, of course, and hopefully we will see you then when it's crypto time with Shukri on Tuesday. See you later, guys.